it will happen. I would be surprised to see if we don't see every single team here get at least one win throughout the tournament. It's probably, you know what, come to think of it, that's not going to happen.
About to say,
that's not going to happen.
You got 24 games.
Well, okay, I'll say 10. There will be at least 10 different winners over the 22 games.
Okay, someone on Twitch chat, clip this, tweet it at Toby, and then if it does happen, then he gets the praise. If it doesn't happen, we're going to just throw him under the bus.
Nonetheless, the plane is in the sky. Game number 4, final game of today has begun. Unique, they're going to go out early on. Not sure if they're going to go all the way down to Val del Mar. Not really opting for this with the plane route, so it looks like they'll just be opted to stay around Porto Paraíso, get looted on there with Besiktas, making their way up north. Then you have EFSA. He's on his own. But the other guys from Kebabs, they're coming up with him, so a little calm there.
I was like,
not all
guys,
of them, not all of them.
We're doing it again, are we? Are we really going down this route? Is this really how you guys like to drop? And like you said, though, right, I'm making a joke of it now, but they qualified to get here. They were able to make it work. So there is a method to the madness, and there always is beyond what we might be able to see to start off with. Okay, it's not worked out as of now, but that can quickly turn around. Now, everyone has kind of clumped together a little bit more this time around, right? We're not seeing anyone kind of tear off and go heavy north or south, so it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of circle we get to kick things off with.
Yeah, I mean, we see Venconas down in Los Leones. This time around it's going to be a western one, though. Kind of the same thing we saw the northern one. Southern around and northern around is what you're going to expect teams to do. You won't see teams going through the area where Picado and all the southern compounds down towards Wizards are expectedly. I mean, for example, the Los Leones teams, they know teams are looting in here. There's no reason for us to try and pull a vehicle through where all these teams are looting. Either we're going to go on the southern side or just wait for them to be done looting. Like, wait until the very circle is on our, well, behinds, and then we'll start making our way in. No reason for them to try and contest anything earlier.
I really like it, though, when we get a hard shift like this, right, and we're going all the way over to the west, because it gives me the kind of understanding of how some of these teams like to rotate and what they're going to be trying to do here. Like MYM last time around, right, they just played it slow and steady, but this time they're going to know they've got Unique very close by. They're actually not going to be left alone completely, so do they just go for a longer rotate here? As Drone Transporter, he's found himself Apocalypse just over there. He's going to go and try and hunt him down. He's got himself a weapon. He's already given away his position, but not the ideal weapon to have in this situation. Long range, it's a bit of a hope and a dream. Drone Transporter, though, he can't hit the shots just yet, so he's going to have to try and make this work, and he knows he doesn't want to push just into it yet, but he did go and pick up the Scar just then.
I was just going to say, the more time Apocalypse can buy himself in the sense of picking up weaponry, the more better off he will be. But Drone in the end secures himself not only the knock, but should be able to get himself the finish off in just a second's time as well. Just taking that vest first. There you go. Take off the guy there. So Swarm securing himself the first kill of the game.
Yeah, good start once again here for Drone's Transporter. He had a similar start, I believe, on the second match as well. He had a good start, so it can work out for him quite well. Unique, in the meantime, they've got all the time to play with they want here, because no one is that close to them just yet, and they're well aware of where MYM is. So they're kind of swapped positions really here, haven't they?
Yeah,
compared to what we saw on the first Miramar, it was MYM chasing it from behind, and now it's going to be Unique, so MYM's got to be cautious regardless here. Wizards in a nice spot already in the circle, don't have to be too kind of hasty with their decision making.
I mean, you got plenty of room in the center of the circle this time around. There is the big road down towards Montenegro. It's pretty much, I mean, if you look at the map, it's just one big X down towards where the center of the circle is, towards Montenegro. There are compounds around there. Of course, you don't want to be inside Montenegro itself, and to see people or teams already starting, rotating on. And still 30 seconds to go until the circle's going to start closing in. But you have PEL, so she's going to make that first move over to pick up some teammates before they are making their way further inside the circle.
Yeah, Quick Math got plenty of time to work with here. They're in a good position regardless. Wizards, who we were just speaking about, time to shine for them. Dyson's got himself the vehicle, and he's going to go and have Aros to jump in his as well to help them kind of just reposition themselves, make sure they're very cautious on what's around them. And like we said, you don't get these engagements that early on when it's like this. So it's just the waiting game. It's the looting. Who's going to push into who first? Who's going to hold on to their positions?
Wizards making their little move in from the south, and then I was looking for him. I mean, I was looking for him. If we have a look at the map at some point soon, just guys keep a lookout for Kebab's fourth player. Where is MFS? Just look for him. He's like the, you know, what's the kids book? Where's Waldo? Find Waldo.
Where's Wally?
Where's Wally? Yeah, exactly. Look for MFS on the map. Where is he?
I'm not questioning it, right? They are the pros. They know what they're doing. This is obviously how the Team Kebab want to play, but my God, they like to make this...
Where is he, guys? Can you find him?
Very, very interesting. So, MFS, all alone. The rest of his team, completely the other side of the map. No backup going to be had there anyway. Okay, they've got vehicles so they can rotate round into it, but are they going to be aware that when they do this rotation, if they stick up to the north side, they're going to be walking straight into Avangard?
I mean, MFS can call out to his teammates right now. Guys, trailer park is clear. There's no one here. Safe rotation, boys.
And then they're just going to walk into a potential
Drive straight into another team on their way there. Now rotations are coming in. You see Quickmat here trying to see if they can get some early damage, maybe even some early points. Done BenQ down to a 4-wheel pickup truck. Not the situation you want to be in, but as you can see, it's still driving rather straight, so not the biggest issue for him right now, at least.
He's got good handling on it. He's managed to keep himself under control.
Besiktas team that we have seen had 2 rough first games, made up for it in the last one, at least kills wise. But oh, this is not the vehicle that drives straight with wheels popped off, and Siphon pays the price right there. Not only does he get knocked, Memo trying to get out to help him, but he in the end will be in a rough spot for himself too. Tries to get out of the vehicle now, but will it be too little too late? Ooh, seems like he's gonna be able to, at least for now, make the spinneroo, get our observers all seasick and make his way back towards his teammates.
Yeah, Memo's like, okay, this was a bad idea. Time to retreat. We're no longer going forward. We are going backwards to safety. And that's what's going to happen as the rest of his team do start to fire off some shots. And they manage to connect a couple of hits onto Lips in there to force them back.
And that's what we're talking about, right? Because they had Andy and they had not Siphon. They had Andy and they had
Thank you.
Thank you. I was like, yeah.
It's all right.
Brain farting for a second there. They had them in the compound, and the other 2 players tried to reach further. They wanted to see if they can get into a better spot, but they weren't able to get that split the way they wanted. Shift now trying to get around the corner. Orange Snow has been knocked. We'll see if they can do more damage to the guys from Unity. Winners of last game. Looks like the only loss, at least for now, though, is going to be Orange. With a nice little snail strike.
Yeah, that's a nice bit of loot for them to work off of straight away there. Nicely done for him. The rest of the team did start to push away. Tizzarin's going to go back in for this, and he's kind of alone.
Where is he going?
Doesn't matter where he goes at this point. He's just running into potential fire, so he might want to just back away now. Chip's going to be back spraying into him. Can't make the shots fully connect just yet, but that was just a risky play, unnecessarily again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, it could be a communication thing, could be plenty of reasons for that. Nonetheless, he figured out, oh wait, there's still people where they were 3 seconds ago, and now I can go the other direction. So
I'd love to know what them reasons were. I need to hear this team communication.
You can, yeah, we'll get that in for phase 2. Get like the
comms,
the online tournament in-game comms. That would be interesting. Tizzarin, forced out of his buggy, has to make the rundown as his teammates. They now has the vehicle upside down as well. I mean, they're all forced down to 1 vehicle now, I guess. But look at the northern rotation. Kebabs trying to make their way over to MFS. He has a position inside the circle, and he's just sitting around waiting for them.
It's actually worked out as well. EFSA, he may be just completely going the wrong way. He's going to go and see what he can get there.
But this is where the road is.
Yep, this is the method to the madness as it be. The only thing that they do have to be careful of here is just where Desperados are coming from as well, because Avangard's moved down towards the south, so they don't have to worry about that now. Trailer Park is completely secure. Kebab are just going to play it off towards the northwestern side now, but Desperados could be the thorn in their side. EFSA, though, might be the one that ends up walking into him, because he's going to go for a completely, the longest possible rotation he could find.
Could be. You see the circle, though. Everybody's sitting bank center. Nobody inside Montenuevo. El Pozo is clear as well. Meet Your Maker's trying to make the way from the south. But as we see the circle here, with Unique making the way on up as well, it's going to pop now. If it goes anywhere north or south, there's going to be so much room to rotate on the edges. But, oh my lord, right bang down in the middle of the fully concentration of teams. I think we only have 3 teams that aren't. Make that 4 teams not inside the circle already.
And I love this from MYM, right? They went for a very interesting rotation here. Rather than go straight up, the new Unique could be potentially coming from behind them. They go off towards this western side. They work their way fully around, but they're just taking their time with clearing it. And they've got a bit of time to work with here. This is a very calculated decision from them, and they've got information to play off now because they don't have to be scared constantly of Unique being in there behind.
Honestly, they might be a little colored in the sense that throughout the qualifiers, there were so many games ending in that southwestern area of the map. So it could be that they're trying to predict where the circle went, but joke's on you. It did not go down there. Tizzarin now trying to see if he can get some damage done. The winners of last games, the guys in Unity, trying to deal some more damage, rack up some more points to finish off the day on top. But Will they be allowed to or not? We'll have to wait and see.
This is what I love about you have done the qualifiers though, because you knew that about MYM, and now it all like clicks for me as well. It makes sense. This is a good, because I respect it. They're going to go and try and predict it, right? You see a certain amount of circles pop, and you go, hey, look, the percentage charge could be here for me. Okay, it isn't meant to be, but look where they'll come up now. They're going to be in a great spot regardless.
Yep. You see, Blast on got himself a little Corsair logo on him, and we all know what that means. Headshot.
Oh yes, the headshots come in.
And that's going to be helmet off.
Now, Wizards, they've got the pressure around them. But they've got a good position from here. T-Bone up front, as always, looking to try and scope out and find these early kills. Reciprocity is nearby. Avangar, in the meantime, though, just having to do the pick-up, get the heals on go. They move down very aggressively south, while Kebab, F's are still in the circle regardless. Okay, it's only phase 2, so the damage is not that bad.
He's not in a hurry.
He's just chilling. He's like, guys, you keep scoping it out. If we all go down, I'll still be here, and I'll just play the slow game. But this could work out for Kebab, because Desperados, they've missed them, didn't see them. Literally no one has any idea they're there.
In all fairness, Kebab's just not used to being 4 guys together, so they might say, can you stay away a little? We don't like having 4 alive together. We'll just play with 3. No, I think EFSA is indeed making its way down towards his teammates now. Besiktas, they have set themselves up just in the southern side of Power Grid. You see the name down there in the minimap, and they've got themselves into a good spot. Only issue for them being they have a lot of teams around them. So if they cannot pinpoint where they are quickly enough, they could be in for a rough one if multiple teams start shooting at them.
Now, it's quite funny, right? EFSA's like the opposite scout. So normally you have a scout, a player
Scout's
that moves
outside
forward.
this circle.
He's doing the opposite. He's like, I'm just making sure there was no one coming behind you. I am the negative scout. Not the positive
The negative scout. That's a new one for me. There you go. Simsy taking a bullet to the face. It's going to be Schiff dealing the damage there. Should be able to get the res in and onwards, though we've seen Schiff. Oh, I take that back. Rafi secures himself the point.
Yeah, Rafi will get the finish off there, so that'll be nice for him. Regardless, it's good for Reciprocity, as they'll be able to continue to do this. Shiv, though, he takes a knock himself. Tom Hill able to put it up, and we spoke about the confidence that come off their last game, right? Miramar seems to be a place where this team can get and put in some work.
Very much so, and you can see right here, I mean, this is what we talked about early on. You have the circle center, that's all good, but look at the difference in terrain. I mean, they're at such a high point, they can get tons of info from up here, but they are in a widely split 2-2 position. You see Shiv getting rest now by Scoom, and had the guys from QuickMath known that they were just 2 guys up there, might just want to make a push on it. Unfortunately, though, not quite the case. New circle is going to pop, and once again, QuickMath sitting in the center saying, why thank you, good circle lords, we will take that one.
Yeah, it's working out in their favor for sure. Sweaty Nerd's still into play, though, and they're not really getting engaged in these fights either. MYM started to come through, and they're actually landed straight on top of a couple of teams. So they're now split up in 2s, and that is not ideal for where they want to be. They've taken their time to come into this, and they've got to be oh so cautious now.
See them pulling up on the compound. Lassa is all by himself upstairs. He actually gets the knock onto one guy. I don't think Flower was expecting people to still be here. They heard them all run off. Logipuff and Mithralius made the run down the road, but in the end, there was still one more guy to be found inside the house. Now, Lassa has to figure, does he want to have his teammates come back and help him? Because it's only Flower here. They could make a return on this.
Yeah, Flowey has a little bit of a decision to make, right? He had to heal himself up. He's now watched his teammate go down in front of him. Larza being very cautious, exactly as he should, as he goes to try and take him right down these stairs, checking every single angle of it, and he has to be oh so cautious.
Cavalry is coming in, though. The more time you spend sitting up here not doing anything, the more time you give for Meteor Megas to reset this entire fight. And now from being a 3v1, they could have taken out quickly. Now it's potentially a 3v1 the other way, because, well, Lasse did manage to get downstairs, but as you can see, Logipuff, he's not in the position to really help, and now teams from the northwestern side are starting to shoot in as well.
Yeah, this is where Larza now just has to stand his ground. His teammates can try and help him out here as you start to see them get a little bit closer. But could it be a little bit too late here? Larza with good trigger control. He definitely saw it. He waited for it. Manages to get one, but that's all he's going to be able to get. He'll be finished off there, and a very smart, calculated play from MYM. But the rest of the team starts to come into this fight, and they're just not going to be able to do it. They're coming from outside, and Flowey, he manages to finish him off.
Very, very smart play for them. It looked kind of reckless the way that he just jumped in like that, but it's on purpose. He sacrifices himself, takes the wide jump inside the room, like one peeks wide, one peeks close, so he just kind of gets all the attention towards him while the next guy comes in and gets the shots landed. Very smartly played by the guys in Meteor Megas, cleared that compound to perfection.
I got to respect Laza though, right? So he sees him, doesn't take the shot, make sure his position's in there. In the meantime, though, we're going to see Tomil go down, which is less than ideal for him. Lux is looking to try and get some revenge, though. Few taps off onto play with me, but he won't be able to finish him off. He is low on health, and Lux is still looking for it, going for the distance here, and he's got the right weapon in his hands to get this done.
Far wide on the open, shots fired, and look at this. Lux Besiktas, just not their start to the tournament they would have wanted, as well as they've done things in the qualifiers. Now when it's all on the line, it's not the start, but as we talked about, so many games that we played, Lux all by himself has to just lay low, chill around, embrace the size of the map, and hope that nobody's gonna find him.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too split up there, right? Lux is playing the long distance game as he should with his position and weapon, but he wasn't able to help Ultra out at all there, which gave him a really hard situation to deal with.
And that's the issue with so much curvature, so different in terrain. It's very hard to really do anything as to help out each other. Now Power Grid though, and El Giganten finding themselves in a good spot up here. Lux is making his way up towards them. Don't want to run into a 4-man team, but as you can see, the southwestern side, or just the western side in general, so many teams down here for reciprocity. Having that entire hillside on the southern side, the entire grayish area you can see down there is pretty much inaccessible. Wizards can make their way all the way around over towards Unique. That's where you're going to be able to crawl on up. For anyone else, it's going to be up in the open hills on the west.
And MSF is all over towards the far west-hand side. His team are now going to go and brave the circle.
They're in the northern side.
Yep,
what are you doing?
They've bypassed Avangard at this point. They've bypassed Avangard. They've not taken the fight, and now they're going to go the long route around. They've got 2 in 1 vehicle. Unseen's got his own. And then MFS is now making his way back to his team and saying, well, we can just go and play it from another angle. The good thing they are doing, okay, there's still 15 teams left, but there's still a group of 4 that haven't had to take any challenges. So they've not spent the utility, they've not spent any meds just yet. They're in a position which is actually quite advantageous here.
For sure it is. Now you see Reciprocity still a team up on the top of the hill. These teams trying to run down underneath. Wizards already made that run around. This is what I was talking about, that big cliff that you cannot just climb up if you don't bring your rappelling gear or whatever, or that mountaineering gear is called. Dashies and company trying to make their way around the side. Dashies and the guys from Unity, that is, sorry, trying to make their way around. But the Wizards, they've got to be prepared for this. Even though they're trying to figure out what's above them, they have to be ready for a team pushing underneath.
You've just put a thought into my head that it's just like PUBG rock climbing about to happen now. There's a potential.
Ooh, yeah, that would be scary.
Well, actually, we now see Kebab get under heavy fire. MFS is going to be taken down, as is Mr. Unseen. They walk straight into Desperado, and now it's all up to Sheesh.
Besiktas once again down out and early in 15th place here. An unfortunate start for the tournament for them, but we keep saying the same thing. But yeah, they can come back and play on day 3. And
still plenty of time, yeah.
And pull up.
It's not the end of the world, it's just the beginning for these guys. As Reciprocity have come under heavy fire, Wizards are the one that's going to be able to get it done, as Raxiti is going to be finished off there, and this is not looking good at all. There's only 2 members left of Kebab, actually. Desperados know exactly where they are, and they're up in the circle on the northern side. They're in a good position here, as Unity, they're coming into the fray at the same time. Going to come around the side, Wizards completely pinned down. This is a really good position to play from here, because Wizards are engaging in a lot more. Those nades are coming out, so they're aware that this is coming into play. He's avoided them perfectly there. Only just heard the noise damage coming into it, and he can still aggress up here and try and catch him off guard.
They just talked about how this was the only entry point for the circle for all these teams on the southern side, and now this is going to be a 3-way fight, to say the least, and Wizards are completely sandwiched in the middle.
Yeah, Wizards trying to play the distance here just a little bit. Shiv looking strong on his own, but for how long? He's got the high ground advantage there. Maybe we can get a couple of grenades in, then there's some potential. But this is just madness across the entire south side. And that'll be the Swarm eliminated in 14th place. This is what it's going to come down to. We'll be seeing a few more teams eliminated very soon, no doubt. Unity putting up the frags as well. Tapping away from the distance. Shiv is going to be knocked. And oh, Reciprocity, they do get eliminated. Real quick they go down. Scoob and Raffi finished off there at the end.
Not the kind of game they were expecting, but a 3-way fight became a 4-way with when Posas coming up on over the top. Wizards going down as well in the transaction of things, or transfer of things, and Unity securing themselves a few points in the top side of the map.
Unity were in such a good position there as the rest of the teams pushed up into them. They had the high ground, good use of position and teamwork across the board, enables them to grab up a bunch of kills. And now it's going to be really down to see what Quick Math can get done here, because they're the ones who have been pretty much uncontested for a big time here.
They very much have. They've been able to lay low alongside El Gigant and have been able to play it somewhat safe inside the circle center. Won't be able to accumulate those kill points, at least not in the early circles, but they will have those 4 guys alive late, including a lot of utility and also Kevlars and Vests, and we do know the importance of them when you do come into the final circles.
Just 10 teams remaining. Could it be 9 real soon? Elgig, they've started to come into the fray as well. Unique Drainsy, he's gone down.
See Shesky trying to say, hey, I'm safe. Can you rest me? Test saying, let me just see if there's anyone I can shoot at first. But no, not quite the case. I do believe he's going to go down, get that res up. We need a home, trying to see if they can make their way inside the circle, looking for just exactly that. Well, there's not going to be a lot of them available, but they do at least have some pillars and some hillsides to work around down here.
Desperados managed to get themselves the crate. They're also up still at the north. They do need to be careful of Sweaty Nerds. BenQ's taking a few shots onto them. And they've definitely got the high ground from this position.
I mean, Desperados are another team that we've seen just today capable of having insanely high kill games. And this is kind of like that Shelter game where they were playing it somewhat not safe, but they played it really calculated and smart in the beginning. And then when they knew they had the upper hand numbers, they just activated beast mode and started killing everyone. And that same thing could happen here. We see the likes of Avangard taken out in 10th place. Venconas following them right afterwards, going out in 9th.
So now all the teams that are left are going to be in the points, but it's how many points are each of them going to be able to grab. Flowy is still up for MYM. All alone, he is the single soldier at the moment, but if he can just hold on a little bit longer while some of these other battles go down, because Sweaty Nerds are desperately going to want to be able to try and take down Desperados. Despite being outnumbered here, only 3 members of Sweaty Nerds left alive, Desperados have got a great advantage in terms of there's potential. Some of the other teams now try to engage Sweaty Nerds from where they are.
See Colton into long range, trying to tap away over towards the guys on the far western side. Quick Math in the meantime in the very center of things. No, actually they're not. On the southern side of things, trying to make sure that nobody's coming in from behind, and important for them to do so. They know we can always look center, we can always make that move on in, but right now what's important is to make sure no one's coming to backstab us, because even a solo can be a threat. New circle pops once again, further over towards the guys in El Giganten in power grid, and I guess that makes sense, because L is electricity and they're in a power grid, so that's they're electricity giants and they're in power grid, so that's only fair, I guess.
It all works out for them in the end. They're not going to be complaining about that regardless. Desperados have also got into a bit of luck here. They don't even now need to engage Sweaty Nerds, who are working their way back down the hill at the moment and actually into a bit of a firefight here. Unity's still able to put up some numbers regardless. Quick Math's under fire. This is all going to be kicking off here as Ubica, he's just proned and ready. He's like holding on.
Chilling.
He's doing the Flowy right now. These two are just on the outside, but Flowy, his position's probably the hardest one here because he's got the furthest to go. As we need a home, they're going to get into it. Definitely not. Andy goes down, and now this is where Sweaty Nerds have to be oh so cautious. Great job here as Smashplay pretty much single-handedly with a bit of backup from Litzin helps them get it done.
Really, really well played by the guys up here. I mean, they had that underneath position. Andy wasn't quite ready for it, got peeked on over the edge, and then catching off one of the guys with an 8 in hand. Just perfect timing. A little lucky, I guess some could say, but it works out in their favor nonetheless. Flowery utilizing this to say, well, that's one more team eliminated. I will continue to sneak my way forward.
Yeah, Flowy's just like, okay, I've got nothing to worry about for a little bit longer. I know where they're going, so I'll just work up behind them. Maybe I can third party them at some point, but my ultimate goal is to get as many points as I can without really having to do too much. Now, Quick Math. They're all up at the moment. They're just playing from around the outside. It's Desperados who have got a real interesting spot because they're very much out in the open. They've not really got anywhere to hide within at the moment, but they also don't have too much of an engagement. Elgig have actually been spotted out there, but it's actually Ubica who's completely on his own that manages to take down Tizerin, at least with a knock to start things off with. Will he be able to have a chance of getting the finish? Quick Math work their way through. Team Unique get eliminated, and it's firefight across the board. Desperados are even going to get involved in this at the same time, and this is just some ultimate chaos to get him in with. And Team Unity, it's not looking good for them. Quick Maths have come into it, and Desperado, he's just looking to get this finish off. and he does get it done.
When you have so little to play from, all of a sudden everybody wants to go to those places, and in the end, two teams took a lot of casualties in trying to do so. Insolenzo now all that's left of Quick Math, trying to make that run on forward. It's going to be a tricky one, that's for sure. It's going to be, if not impossible, then something close to it. Has some smokes to work with, but he's not inside the circle just yet. Flowery, same thing for him, just on the edge of the circle. I believe he's actually is in already, and he has, we need a home to kind of do all the heavy lifting for him.
Now, Flowy is just chilling at the moment. And what I love about this is that We Need a Home are not looking behind them. They have no idea of where he is. He's been keeping it nice and quiet. He's taken his time. He's worked himself into this top 5 position. He's the prone man himself trying to come into this. Desperados, great positioning from them. Smash Bay is going to be the one that gets the first knock. And this is going to be a little bit of trouble because he's still a little distance away from the rest of his team if they can keep putting the pressure on. Elgig, in the meantime, though, they've been engaged in some of these fights, but they're just taking their time. They're allowing it to play out as Flowy actually gets a kill in there, and he will be getting himself a point as Unity are going to be eliminated.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation for him to be in now. He's given up his position, and he still has Lipson and Rita to work with, or work against, I guess you could say. You see them both turning around immediately. Wait, didn't that shot come from behind us? Turns around immediately. Flowery has been spotted, and oh, not down just yet. The more time, I was gonna say, the more time these guys spent trying to find him, the more it will allow for the guys in Desperado to push out and get even more circle control. They're pretty much sitting on half the circle already, and for Flowy, he has to make that run on forward. One is down. He could even get himself one position better. All of this was so Sarah says, no, not gonna happen. Down you go. And once again, Desperado in on the action could go back to winning 2 games on the day. Let's see if it's gonna happen. 3 teams remaining, 2 4-man teams in the mix, and then Lipson chilling on the top side by himself.
What I love about this is Desperados have got this perfect play of engaging at the right time, using the same positionary teamwork, but getting the kills across the board here as a rampage comes in for Deegs as he takes down Lipsin, and that'll be We Need a Home eliminated. Just 2 teams remain. It's Desperados versus Elgig, and Elgig, they were set up towards that power grid area. They are starting to now push out a little bit more and try and gain a bit of an advantage here.
And look at the split Desperado has. They're pretty much sitting on the 3 out of 4 of the pie pieces, right? I mean, it's pretty much, if you cut it in 4 pieces, they are sitting on the vast majority. If this circle does not go inside of Power Grid itself, it's going to be a very tough push out for Hoekstar and company, because they will have a long run out, the guys in El Giganten, if they want to go out and win this one.
The problem here for Elgig is no matter where they engage, one player from Desperado is going to be able to pop up, and you're not going to be able to focus them down because they're very well split out. The positioning here is looking key.
Trying to get some info, making sure no one's behind them. They can't know for sure that there's a 4-man team sitting in here. They just know what info they have to work off of. They're saying, how many white shirts have you seen? How many level 2 helmets have you seen? Trying to figure out if they've seen the same players all over, or what's happening. So smart. We talked about them in the Erangel game that they won as well. Very calculated, very smart playing coming in from Desperado. But you cannot take anything away from El Giganten. They're a very capable team. 8 kills already to their team name. So it's just gonna be a fight till the very end. But as we can see, Circle has popped. It's gone outside of the area itself. And as we know, the circle center is going to be right in the dead middle, coming on in just about a couple of seconds. And El Giganten, they're trying to take control of it.
Hoekstar looking to try and pop off Calvin Klein's head from the distance there. They're just little peeking up and down. The peekaboo game is real. 4 kills up on Desperados. They've been engaging in these fights. I mean, desperately going to go for this win, try and match him.
Hoekstar and Savage, they've split themselves in the middle. They've become like a 2-sided sword, or 2-edged sword, if you can put it in that. They have to fight on 2 fronts at the same time, though. They need stars and they need Deeks to really help them out with all the info from behind. It's going to be very tough for them to sort of fight off while I'm switching. Hoekstar is crawling down to the southern side, and you have Savage trying to hold off on the north. It's the same 2-way split system that Desperado used in their Wrangle game that they ended up winning, but we'll see if it's going to come in and help them here, if it's going to be them sitting too widely spread.
Yeah, Zdars needs to move as well. He will work his way out, but he's going to take some damage for it. Already at phase 8 as that starts to tick away. Calvin Klein's going to be looking for them to move out of this, and this is where he's in such a pivotal position here.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. How's that AWM in hand? Just 1 pop to the head and you're down. For the most part, 1 pop to the chest as well if you don't have a vest on. At this point, people would be in positions where they don't. Coldamenta shot some... fired off some bullets there. Hoekstar knows of his position. Can he get around and get to see him? Not quite sure.
Smoke's giving him at least a little bit of cover for now as the second one's going to pop. And he's just trying to give himself a line to work through. Hugstar right on the other side drops down into the prone position. This battle is going to commence ever so shortly. Desperados trying to play it smart, using up the utility very well here.
All this is going to take is that first knock and then chaos. I mean, right now it's just stalling, it's stalling. It's like the boxers. They're jumping around, running around each other, waiting for that first clean punch to come in, and then mayhem. Just wait for it to happen. Those smokes will only grant you cover for so long. You see Deeks and Savage have a really good position with the Rich over there. Have themselves a good spot. And Hookshot could be the difference maker here called Dementa. Shots fired. These smokes are only going to last you so long, though.
Yeah, he's popped all his smokes as of now. It's going to have to be firefight. Hugstar from behind does get taken down, though. So this is an advantage for Desperados. And now, like you said, the battle will start to really come into its fray. Hugstar's going to be taken out. Now we're 4v3. He's down and out of it. Z-Stars finishes off Calvin Klein, but he gets taken off straight away, back and forth. It's looking good for Desperados. Only Savage remains. He's trying to play it smart. Manages to get the first spray down. This could work out. Both the other players of Desperados have to push him at the same time. He's completely hidden away as of now. Comes in with a spray, gets the first knock. Can he get it done? 1 versus 1, and that's the way it goes down. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And L-Gig managed to get it done. 12 kills and a dream. What an absolute huge play from Savage.
What Shiv could not do in that 1v4 earlier today, Savage just pulled off in a 1v3. Holy whack-a-mole, what a performance. 12 kills as well to secure that final game of the day. That is a game they can be proud of. Very, very well played by them.
Yeah, huge pressure put